Okay, so we went through absolute path, relative path, and okay, so let's continue on. So what I'm gonna do is show you show you how to delete a file. Okay, so we have ls. So I want to delete file 1, right? So what I'll do is rm is to remove file and hit enter. Okay, and will tell you remove regular empty file. You just say y and hit enter, and the file is gone. Okay, you just deleted the file here, right? But in the Windows environment, you could retrieve the file. In Linux, there is no such thing. Once you're done, it's done. So you got to be very careful what files you're deleting, okay? As a root administrator, you would have access to the core of the operating system. The moment you delete it, the operating system will collapse and the server will collapse. So that's why, as a root, you have to be careful how you are using this root privileges, okay? So let me do this here. So the file is gone. Okay, now if you want to do the remove the file without any confirmation, you type rm hyphen rf and file 1 or 2 this time. So what I will do is it will absolutely remove the file without even asking for the confirmation. There you go, all the files are gone. Okay, rm hyphen rf, and then yeah. Okay, so now to remove file without confirmation, this is how you do it. rm hyphen rf. Rf stands for recursively force. Okay, so just do it without anything, just do it without force. I mean with force. That's what it stands for. Okay, so now what if you want to delete the multiple files with the same name, uh, with the same initial name? Okay, so I'm going to do touch f1, f2, f3, f4. So I got like about four blank files, right? But if I want to delete everything which is starting with one particular letter, so what I do is rm hyphen rf and then f, and then you put an asterisk there. So what I'll do is it will match the cases which are starting with letter F, and then it will delete everything. So not delete everything, delete all the files and the 4 files that are starting with F. So if you type ls, it's gone. Okay, so Okay, so this is how you do remove the file here. And let's see here. If you want to remove multiple files with the same command, okay, so if you are deleting with matching the case, then it will delete all those files here. So I think I said it enough here. So let's go ahead and create this here. Now what about deleting a folder? How would you delete a folder? So to delete a folder, you type rm and then the name of the folder. Okay, and hit enter. It says cannot remove Linux. It is a directory. So what you have to do is, for the directory, you have to do rf -rf. It will delete the directory for you. If you do ls, the directory is gone. Okay, so why you cannot remove with a regular RM? Because directory has a protection. It's a way for you to give some kind of protection, because directory might have a file in there, one file, two file, or thousands of file in there. Okay, that is why you just simply cannot remove. Use the RM command to remove the directory. All right, good. Now copying a file. Okay, how do you copy a file? Let's do ls here. So what I do is, let me create a file here, touch file 1. Okay, I have file 1 here, right? So how do you copy the file? Simple. Type cp, the file name, and the name of the new file. So what will happen is, it will copy everything inside the file, and you're giving it a new name of the file. Okay, simple as that. So if you do ls, then there is a copy of the file. Okay, now let's see here. So we have a folder here like Linux. We're gonna see how you do. Okay, so let me go into the folder Linux. Let me create a folder Linux. Let me go into folder Linux 2 and then create some files in there, right? Touch file 1, file 2, file 3, file 4, Okay, there are 4 files in there. I get out of there. So the way to copy the file is, the directory is, you type cp and hyphen recursively force. Okay, and then you're copying Linux 2 to Linux 3. Okay, and I'm going to hit enter. So let's go into Linux 3. And if you do ls here, then the folder got copied into Linux 3 here. But if you want to do copy at the same time you want to create a new folder, what you have to do is type this here. So what will happen is it will create a new folder at the same time, copy the new folder. It will create a new folder at the same time. It will copy the content of the entire folder here. So you go there and you go into Linux 4. And if you do ls, you see all the files in there. Okay? Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move the files and folders here, okay? So let me go back here. I'm going to do ls. I'm going to move file 1 into Linux 2 folder, okay? So what is the command? Simple, move mv file 1 and into, I'm going to copy to Linux 2 folder, okay? And hit enter. And it says, oh, okay, it has already, so it's giving you this thing here. So let's move it to, let me see here, cd linux 2 ls. Yeah, this a file name. I'm going to remove file name. Oh no, let's keep it here. So what I'm going to do is, let's move it to Linux 3. So I'm going to move file 1 and I'm going to move it to Linux 3 folder. Okay? And hit enter. If you go into Linux 3 and you do ls, oh God. And you do ls in there, the file is in there. File 1 has moved into Linux here. But if you do ls here, if you do ls in the original place, the file 1 is not there anymore. Why? Because it got physically moved. Moving is you cutting it from one place and pasting it somewhere else. So you're removing it from the original place.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I wanted to know, would you be able to tell me how I changed the path? I'm currently in the Linux 2. After the localhost, it says Linux 2, and I forgot how to take it back to where it takes us to the, what do you call it?
Go back to the home directory.
Yes, the home directory.
All right. Can somebody answer that?
Type in PWB and D,
Okay,
primary
PWD.
working directory. That do it.
No, now it's giving me the root in Linux 2. Do I type in PWD and then root or something?
Yeah, you just want to go to root, right? Your home directory?
Yes.
Yeah.
So PWD root.
No. Anybody? He just want to jump to the home directory.
I think you should type CD.
Yes.
Just type, yeah.
Yes, cd and hit enter.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect.
and you will no matter where you are, you are down into thousand folders. The moment you type cd, it will bring you back to the home directory. And then if you type cd space hyphen, then it will put you back into the previous working directory, the directory you were in.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
All right, good question. cd linux 3, uh, then ls, and then the file is there. The file is moved, not copied. Now, what you could do is, over here, I think I forgot one thing here. Copying let's copy the file here. So I'm going to copy file 2 to a folder name. Let's do a tree linux 2. Or linux 4. Okay. I'm going to copy, and I'm going to copy a file into this folder. Inside a folder, there is another Linux, right? So what I'm going to do is cp. Let's see what file I'm going to copy. I'm going to create a touch file x. Okay, I'm going to copy this file here into the folder named Linux 3. And then I'm going to copy it into the folder. There is another folder in there, right? Linux 2. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the file X. At the same time, I'm going to give the name Y. Copy file X. And then I'm going to give it a name file Y. You know what? Actually, let me do this here. Just like this, and hit enter. So what happened is another file is copied into this location here, okay? Now you could see how the absolute path and relative path is going to come in handy. Okay, so I'm going to say cp touch file y, and then I'm going to copy file y using the absolute path. So what I'm going to do is cp, and then I'm going to give the name of the file y, and then where am I copying it here? I'm copying it to this folder. So if I go to this folder here, and if I do ls, I should see file x and y. Okay, so you have to give the path here, whatever the path is. If you don't give the path, it's going to create in the same directory. If you give a path, it's going to copy into the another so hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. All right, so
Hey, Mr. Zafar, sorry to bother you again.
Yeah, go
One
ahead.
thing that happened was when you were back like 2 3 commands when you created the Linux file 3 or 4 and then when you copied it and moved it into a different file, I got lost over there and I fell behind. Now I'm having a hard time catching up.
Yeah, okay, hold on. Give me 1 second here.
Okay.
All right, let's share your screen here. Give me your screen.
Okay. All right. The ID is 200
Okay, hold on.
255 123 and the password is I42
No, hold on, hold on.
C. Oh, sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
200
200
255
255
123.
123.
Yes. And the password is I42
I42
CY4.
CY4. Okay, I'm there. So go ahead and minimize this. I'll do it for you here. Okay, so bring up your putty. Okay, so you are copying file what?
So when you
Do ls
created
here. Do ls. Now which file you copying?
um you're copying file 2.
Yeah, type cp. You have to give the file name first, and then the destination. Space,
Okay.
and where are you copying it to? Linux 3 folder, right?
Yes, Linux 3.
Yeah, okay, good. Enter.
Okay. And when you created the folder in the previous command, the Linux 4 folder, I don't have that one.
So create one. No, hold on. We created a Linux 4 folder so that you copy the entire folder to Linux 4 folder, right? Go into Linux 3 and see what's in there.
Okay.
CD Linux 3. Show me the content.
Retrieve.
No, do ls. Okay, go back. How'd you go back?
CD.
Yes. And go into Linux 2.
So
Now do ls. Okay, so you have a bunch of files in here, right? Come out of
yes.
this, go back. Clear the screen. Now do ls again. Now you're copying Linux 2 to a new folder which doesn't exist to Linux 4. So type cp
Okay.
space hyphen rf
-RF.
space Linux 2. Then give it a name Linux 4 space Linux 4. Enter. Then go into Linux 4 and see that you should have same content of the file as Linux 2.
CD Linux 4, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. All right.
Okay, you're caught up. So,
Okay. Thank you.
sure. Okay, so you know what? Let me split up the command here. So this is using relative path. Okay, and and then you're copying file Y using one is relative path and you using the absolute path here. Okay, most of the time use the absolute path here, but you could use a relative path also. When we go down in scripting here, usually absolute path is recommended because um, you could do, there could be some error using the relative path, but absolute path is going to be absolute. That's the only folder is going to be an absolute path. Okay, using a relative path and copying. Okay, copying the directory. So and its content, and then use the same thing here. Should I show you how to do the copy the directory using the path? Okay, let me clear this. Tree. So what I could do is let me create mkdir Linux 5 as a folder -p Linux 5 Red Hat White Hat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy a folder cp-rf, and then you have to give the folder name first. You have to give Linux 2 and then the path. I'm going to copy it to Linux 5. Okay, I'm going to copy it to White Hat and hit enter. So now if I go into this folder here, I should see the folder name Linux 2 in there. There you go. Okay. So this command, let me break this up here. So if you dissect this here, this command, the command is cp, okay, and then the file is file y, and the destination is, this is the destination, okay. And you do the same with everything, okay. if you want to move the file, you copy, use the move, and then the source and destination. Actually, this is called source. And this is called destination. Okay. Does this make it clear what is happening? So remove, yeah. Okay, now. So we did move. Okay, moving the file here, and then the file is moved, not copied. And cd move file 3. This is Linux. Use source and destination format. Okay. Now we did move the file, right? Now we're doing the move the folder. Move the folder. Okay, I'm gonna hit here ls. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move folder 3 into folder 5. What is the command? mv linux 3, and then what I'm gonna do is linux 5 and red hat white hat. Okay, I'm gonna move it here, but for that you have to do -rf, recursively force. Invalid option. Maybe I don't need to use R, I just use F. So what it's gonna do is gonna delete the folder from this place. So we used to have 3 there, Linux 3. Linux 3 is not there. Where is Linux 3 now? It's in this folder. Okay, good. Okay, move. This is the command. So we're moving Linux 3. And we are moving, where are we moving? We are moving into this folder here, white hat. This is the destination. Okay, and when you do ls here, um, the folder is gone. But if you go into this folder here, the folder 3 is sitting here. Okay, all right, so let's copy this here. The file is moved, not copied. Use source and destination format. Okay, so I don't have to say that much here. So if you do tree, you could see this. The Linux 3 folder got moved into white hat, and this is where all the content is. Okay, so if you have like a folder and it got like a thousand files and another 1,000 folders in it, it's going to copy everything. Move it, not copy it. Okay, so I'm going to give a 1 minute pause here, and let me know if anybody need to catch up. Okay, so if I type tree here, it gives me I have 8 directories and 23 files here. So how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 files and 8 directories. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, what I want to do is I want to delete everything in one shot. So I do rm-rf and the asterisk. Okay, this is a very dangerous command here. If you run it on the wrong place, all done. There is nothing coming back here. everything is gone. All these 8 directories and folders, they all are gone. I should have, give me 1 second here. Change settings, appearance.
Mr. Zafar,
Yeah.
shouldn't there be a memo that says you can't delete directories?
Yeah, but I use this here.
Which one? Dash arm. I'll put dash F. That's my fault. Okay,
Dash
I see the problem.
hyphen
Yeah,
RF. Yeah.
I left the R out.
F stands for force
Yep.
and
Force, thank you.
RF. Let me clear this. Now what I'm going to talk about is rename file and directories. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to touch a folder, touch file 1, and okay, yeah, touch file 1, okay, and then mkdir folder 1 ls. So what I want to do is I'm going to rename file 1 to file 2. So how do you use the rename? Rename is actually a move command. You have to type move file 1 and you have to give the name file 2. It's gonna be, looks weird here, but that's how it is. So if you see here, the file 1 is renamed to file 2 using the move command. That's how it works. Okay, and it's the same thing for the folder 2. Move mv folder 1 to folder 2. And if you do ls, so the file 1 and file 2 is gone and it's renamed to move here. So I'm going to make a note here. mv is used to rename as well. Okay, and let's see here. Where did I start today? So you remove file 1. So we did this, remove multiple files. Okay, so I'll clear this up before I post it here. I'm going to put it and highlight the real command we're using in the example here. Okay, you know what, let me do it now here before I forget. So remove a file. So we're using this command here. And remove without confirmation. This is the command you're using. And remove multiple files. This is the real command. Okay, and remove directory. So you're using this here, but for directory you have to use RF. Regular remove will not work, okay? And for copying the files, you copy the file 1 to file 2. Okay, and then you copying the destination 2. Okay, copying a file to a directory. Well, these two are same thing here, so I'm not gonna delete this, just leave it as is. So moving a file, and this is a directory, right? File 3. So the copy file is moved here. Move the folder. You do, and then you're gonna move it in here, and you go to folder. Okay, move file to file 1. And move folder. Okay, good. I think this should be good enough here. So the next thing is what we're gonna do is
Mr. Zafar,
yeah.
what if you have two folders, folder 1, folder 2, and then you try to rename folder 1 to folder 2, and it overwrites the second folder?
No. If the folder 2 is already there, the folder 1 is moved inside folder 2.
Okay, so it will never allow you to have two folders with the same name, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Two files with the same name cannot exist.
Right.
That's true in the Windows environment too.
Okay.
In fact, so let me do touch file 2 here. If I do touch file 2 here, what will happen is it will actually overwrite the file. Everything inside that file will be gone. So you got to be careful. I think I said that when we did the touch command, right? history echo touch. Okay, here touch file 1 anaconda, create a hidden. Directories have colors, creating a directory inside directory. Yeah, I should make a note here. Creating a file with the same name. Same name will creating a file with the same name as existing file, it will overwrite it. Let's see here. What I'm going to do is I do ls-l so that we see it, and then I'm going to see touch file 2. So this was created 13:04 p.m. Okay, now do ls-l. So it creates, it overwrites the file here. And let's do mkdir folder 2. So the folder has some kind of protection, the file doesn't. Okay. All right, that's a very good observation. So now what I'm gonna do is we're gonna give me 1 second here. Rename, right? Renames. So now, before I further proceed, there is something called, if you do ls, right, and if you do ls-l, you want to learn like a lot more stuff here. These are like the little silly things I'm showing you. But if you want to learn a lot of, find out what else this command does with the switch, this is the main command, and what is followed by here is a switch. Okay, if you want to find out any command, more about the command, how you could use it, than a simple way using it, you have to type man ls. What does man stands for? It means manual pages. Man stands for manual. Man command is manual. Manual of the command. That means it's a little guide. This is a guide for using the command. So let's see here. ls is very common, right? So I type man ls and hit enter. So you have a lot of information about the main name ls. So what is ls? What is it? The name ls. What does it do? List the directory contents. These are the official names. So you do ls. How you run the command ls, and then you give the option and then the file name. So we type ls-a, or you could do ls-all all2. So -a stands for do not ignore entry starting with an asterisk. Okay, that's what it means. So to us, what we are thinking is if you want to see the hidden files, okay? ls-A do not list implied. So capital A, it won't show you these two directories here. Hidden, the present working directory and the previous working directory. And then if you do ls-l -a with L, it will show you the print author of each file. So if you do, there are a lot of things here. -b, print C style, escape for non-graphic character. I don't use all these all the time. I just use the ones which are silly here. But if you want to find out a lot more about that file, then you use it here. One good example is ls-ld. ls-d. It will list the directories, themselves, not their content. Okay, and then direct, I don't know what that means. -f, -g, capital G, -h, human readable. Okay, so let me escape this. Quit. So it says ls-g. Okay, and it says ls-h. I usually use ls-lh. So what it does is it will give you some information. Usually H stands for human readable. So manual pages, don't stress too much about it. I only go in there if I want to use the regular command and if I want to use it in a special way, okay? So it showed you ls-d, ls-d. Okay, so it gives us the list of directory here. But if you do ls-d and you type folder 2, it will give you the list information about inside the directory. If you do ld, it will give you the directory information. But if you do without L, it will give you what's inside the folder. Don't worry about this. We'll learn. This is not something I want to show it now. We'll learn all the commands which are necessary for daily use. But the man command is you have to use it for finding out more information about a command. Sometimes you download a command, you don't know how to use it, you go in there and find that out. Like the tree command here, right? If you go by tree command didn't came pre-installed here, but we installed it as an extra bonus. So it says all files are imprinted, list directories only, follow symbolic links if they are point to directories as if they were directories. There are a lot of information here. I'm not using that every day, okay? But I want to show you where to go get help. What did I do? Uh-oh. I lost the connection. Why did I lose the connection? Are you guys still with me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, now all of a sudden it changed to 100. I told you earlier I was having problems with the router here, so router is messing up. Okay, so it's back to the old IP address. Okay, so now uh, so let's talk about the redirect. So what you could do is redirector. There are three things you have to remember. It's called redirector. Okay. Redirector. Okay, there are three things you should remember. 0 greater than, 0 less than, 1 greater than, and 2 greater than. These are called redirectors. Okay? So, these are standard inputs. First is called input, standard input. It's going to be really difficult for you to understand what I'm showing here, but you will get it here. Don't worry about it at this moment. This is called standard output. And then standard error output. So, how am I going to show this?
let me see what is the so what I'm going to do is let's see here. I type echo, this is Linux, right? What happens here is, what happened here? So I said echo, this is Linux, and this part Linux is showing up on the screen here, right? What I could do is, instead of showing this on the screen, I'm going to put this into a file, ls. So what I'll do is echo, this is Linux. I'm going to do this here, and then I'm going to put it in a file too. Okay, if I do so now this part is not showing on the screen here. Where did this go? Where did this part go?
In file 2?
Exactly. This part went inside the file name file 2 here. Why? Because we are directing we are showing the direction in here to go into file 2. Okay, how are you going to read the file 2? You read the file cat. You use the cat command to use the file 2, and it's in there. Okay, so this next few commands are a little complicated, so don't worry about it too much. I'm here to help. So let's see here. This is an example of standard output. So I did this echo. Echo, this is Linux, and what it went in here is it's showed here, right? Okay, so we don't need to do this here. This much we don't. So when we are using the redirector, actually we are, okay, let's do this here. Linux 1 echo, this is Linux 1 greater than file 1. It goes into with the standard output, which is supposed to be on the screen. It went in the file. I explain you what input and output is, right? Yeah, standard redirecting the output to the file. And how do you read the file? You use the cat command to read the file. So whatever this here is, you is in the file 1, file 2, and then 1 greater than. So I'm gonna change this to no, I don't like that. This part, the blue highlighted part, is the one which is making it go to the file 2. Okay? And then so it went in there. Now what we can do is cat 0 less than file 2. So what it does is 0 less than, it reads the file here. Okay? Redirecting to file. Now standard input okay, taking the input and displaying on command line. So how do we use this? We're going to use the cat command. Oops. Okay, I'm going to pause here. I'm going to go over what cat command is in a bit, but this is how it is. But other ways you could use it is cat just file 2. Okay, over the years, back when the Linux started, you're supposed to be using this, but right now this is kind of built in, so you don't have to use it. Or you could use just the arrow. Okay, so you could use 3 different ways. Okay, so the standard input is used. Standard input is used. For example, let's do this here. Cat 0, 1. Cat 0 file 2, either this way or this way here. Okay, most of the time I end up using this here because you don't have to remember it. it has become easier in last few years. Before you have to like type this in here. Back in 80s, back in when the Unix was around, you have to type this. Then in 90s, you have to type this way. Now you have to, last 10 years, you have to type this way. You don't have to worry about too much, right? Okay, so similarly, the standard input has grown too. Either you could type like this way, 1, or you could type without 1. Everybody with me so far?
Yes.
All right. Don't panic, please. This is nothing. You will get it. Echo, this is okay, so I'm going to expand on this here. Standard input to the CLI. Okay, now standard output to the file. Standard input to the CLI from file. Standard output to the file from CLI. I explained what is CLI, right? Command line interface. Good. I explained that, right? On day 1, I should have done that.
You told us it was command line.
Yeah. Directories have color. Okay, yeah.
Should be highlighted in the sky blue. Maybe
Where?
up some more. Right there. A little bit more.
Yeah, right here.
But if you go up some more, I think you like spelled it up. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
Let me see
beginning.
what
Yeah, I did in the beginning of a time. Okay, yeah. Okay. So you know what CLI is. Okay, good. Okay. So now the output standard. So now you could use this way here, right? You don't have to type 0 or 1. just type this here. But for error, let me clear this. That let me type file x, cat file x. So what is happening here is it's giving you the error. No such file or directory is found. So what you could do is you could do cat file x, and then you could do the okay, so I type some garbage command here, right? So I type garbage, and it says the Linux doesn't understand what garbage is. Now what I'm going to do is garbage, and then I'm going to do this 2 greater than, and then I'm going to give it to the file 2. So what happened is, whatever the output here, the error part of the output goes into the file 2. If you do cat file 2, see the error went in there. It kind of overrode what it had in there. So I'm explaining you how to overcome cat overwriting a little later. But right now, it has captured the garbage part and it took it to the file. Okay, so what happens here is let me do ls-l. Let me run 2 commands here, ls-l, and then I'm going to type something like no command. Okay, so what happens here is ls-l is a command, right? It runs the command without any problem. Then the second command is garbage. It doesn't know what that is, and it's giving you the error here. But what you could do is you could do 2 greater than and file 2. What will happen is when you use this, this command, it will display this part, but the error part is going to move it to the file 2. Okay, so 2 greater than, what it does is it filters out the errors. Okay, now you see the difference here, right? We ran the same command. We ran the same command with 2 greater than. So because we didn't tell where to put it in, it's going to put on the command line by default. Okay? So if you do cat file 2, so it's not putting this part in the cat file 2. It's putting the error part in the file 2 here, because we are using this defined here. This is defined inside Linux. Use 2 greater than. That means it will filter out the errors and capture it and put it in there. So standard error output. They are captured and redirected to specified file. Okay, so how is that going to work? 2 greater than. So you have to use it. You have to use 2 here. There is no other way you could use this. Okay. Okay, so standard input is, it's taking this. So you just have to remember 3 things here: greater than sign, less than sign, and 2 greater than sign. Okay, that's all. Okay, let's work on the, how much time we have? 10 more minutes. So now what I'm gonna do is let's work on the cat command. Okay, so what is cat command? Cat stands for concatenate. Cat. CAT is a short for concatenate. What does that do? It reads the file. Okay. So let's see here. It reads the file, it writes to the file. So let's see how it's going to read the file here. I'm going to clear. And then I'm going to say echo, this is Linux, this. Okay, and then I'm going to put this into the file 2. Okay, so if the file 2 doesn't exist, oh man, I'm going to, hold on. So I'm going to put this into file 2. Okay. Now, if you want to read the file, what you have to do is cat file 2. We could have used a 0 and then enter file 2, but we don't have to. Just hit enter. So it reads the file. Okay, and if you want to write to the file, what you could do is cat greater than file2 and hit enter. So what this is, I'm going to say this is Linux course. Okay, and then I'm going to do Control D to get out of this. So what it does is, this is file 2. What it does is, it will open a quick editor. It will open a quick way to open it, and then you could type the content in it. Okay, this will open a space in CLI to write it. Okay, this command will overwrite. Okay, so this will overwrite it. Okay, but you don't want to overwrite it. You want to, at the same time, you want to keep what's already in there, right? You type cat 2 greater than and the file name, and you said I am enjoying Linux. This is getting interesting. And then what I'll do is Control C. And if I do cat file 2, I should see 3 lines in there. This line, and this line. Okay? There you go.
You have to put two greater than signs in order to add.
Yes, sir. You absolutely have to do it.
So you have to know there's like content in file 2 before you add on.
Then how do you know the content? If the file has any content, how do you know that?
Cat file name.
Yep, exactly. Cat file 2. There you go. There are 3 lines in there.
Okay.
Control plus C to exit. You know what? Let me start it here. I think we did enough for today. And what I'll do is I'll upload the video and then upload the file, and then we'll go from there. All right, we'll all catch up tomorrow. If you have any questions, put in a chat so that I want everybody to help each other out. And please do not hesitate to ask a question. If you got a question, put in the chat.
Okay.
And just try to use the chat for silly reasons to, like, if you have a silly question, you could figure it out, but still ask that question in the chat so that I want everybody to reply to it. And then, it's for your own benefit. You see the benefit in there, right? I mean, if you have a question, then somebody might have the same question. So if somebody replies, you're actually learning that way.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow. Have a good
Okay,
night.
Mr. Zafar.
Okay, bye.
Okay,
So far.
thank you.